My giant-sized Lego Sentinel is one of my favorite Lego projects that I've ever worked on. It went through several versions in the design process, and today I'm very proud to show off what this character will be displayed in for my upcoming conventions. When I started this project, I was limited to just the official Lego X-Men figures, and honestly the lineup of these characters is pretty limited and disappointing. Of course, now that it's a couple months later, I've been able to expand the roster with a bunch of different custom minifigures that were printed by different companies, as well as some purist options that are built using official Lego parts. I have so many X-Men characters now that I'm probably going to have to cut some of them even. In addition to the impressive collection of figures that I've added, I've also improved the Sentinel itself, changing up the back design a bit to now include a battery pack. Turning it on and turning it around, you can see that I added lights, one in each of the eyes, and then also one in the arc reactor sort of part. But I'm very impressed with the very small battery pack on the back. This is all purchased from Brick Stuff. When designing the Sentinel, I had displaying it in mind, so I added those headlight bricks on the bottom of the feet where you could put one of the round 1x1 tiles with the bar into the feet and secure it to a base plate or anything else. After that, though, I had to really come up with an idea of what the display would be. But to me, the most obvious option was the Danger Room, and that is what I went ahead and built. To design this build, I used Studio, and I threw something together quick, just figuring out what pieces I would need specifically, waited a bit to get all those parts, and threw it all together. When designing the Danger Room, I made sure to keep in mind the size of the Sentinel, and had the walls taller than it, and had enough room that it could stretch out a bit and have some attacks going. With that, on all of the walls, I have different studs showing, so you can apply some different clear pieces and have characters flying or even connected to the wall with just their legs or their hands. And for the details on this, I really looked to some source material, whether it was action figures like the Marvel Select figures that had the wall paneling kind of like this, as well as different connection points where you could recreate certain cover art or different powers and abilities of the mutants. Another one of the cool details about the Danger Room is that the walls open and close and have different traps. I added my own little bit of this by putting a panel on the wall that has a spike come out, and I also added a quick doorway for other objects to enter into the Danger Room. It could be implied that it's the larger Sentinel, but I also have the official Sentinel that comes in and out of there. I have Nightcrawler Bamf effects going across the wall, showing where he was teleporting to avoid attacks and to also attack the Sentinel. The only part of this build I didn't design before I ordered the initial parts was the control room, which uses some kind of interesting techniques. Maybe not the smartest way to do this, but I made it work. Inside I have a printed brick by Citizen Brick, which was part of their supercomputer. And of course, because I got some custom figures, I can throw in Professor X. Currently he's in the hover chair. I also have one of the Lego wheelchairs if I wanted to change it out anytime. And on that topic, let's show off some of the different powers and builds I did for the characters. I think one of my favorite parts is this ice trail that I built for Iceman. And I think having a display like this is perfect for putting out some of my custom figures so they're not just in a case. And I'm super happy to put some comic homages in this build, like Beast swinging from a bar of some sort, and of course Angel having a giant pipe for whatever reason. I think having little details like that is what makes these sort of MOCs really fun. Quick removing one of the arms, adding on a crazy arm for Shadowcat. Just gonna quick place around the foot. It looks like her hand is going into the Sentinel. And this is kind of a later idea to this process, but here is Storm with a little bit of action going on, making a tornado and some lightning going through it. And with all those little pieces put together, here is the final sort of display. I might tweak some different things in this just to make it a bit more evenly distributed. I think Storm might have to move over where Gambit is, and I might need to change out some of the studs in the flooring to move some figures around. And I definitely think using that light kit is a very nice upgrade for the Sentinel and makes it a little bit more menacing. Of course, for something this size, it's a little hard to capture it all in video, so definitely check it out at the conventions if you're going to Brickworld Chicago. On the Saturday that this video is coming out, I'm already going to have this on display at Brick Convention, Minnesota. And going off of that, I might switch things around a bit even more. But with the way that I built this, that's going to be really easy with all the different exposed studs everywhere to add some more texture. So it's not just a detail, it's also for functionality. And I just ended up doing that because I didn't want to corner myself and wanted to leave as much room open as possible if I wanted to add more characters or make their powers and the effects that I built for them even bigger. This build has been really great to put together, and it really feels complete now that everybody's put in there. Also, just a thank you to all the custom creators that have made parts like Citizen Brick with that computer piece in the control room, and of course all the different X-Men figures that are in this build. And I'm very excited to work on this. I think in the future I might add another half to this, so it would be 2 different corners, and I think that'd give me another great opportunity to throw in another bad guy like Magneto, and I could probably spread out the characters a bit more and have 2 different battle scenes, and I think that would be a very cool display. So that's probably something I'm going to work on for the next Brickworld all the way into 2024. If you want to see any of these custom X-Men figures in more detail, check out the other videos on my channel. I've been BrickRadioUp, and I'll see you in the next video.